Hello everyone, and welcome to today's English learning video. In this video, we're going to read a fun and interesting passage together. Whether you're a beginner or just want to practice your reading skills, this is the perfect place to improve. Here's how we'll do it. I'll read the passage aloud first, and I want you to listen carefully to the pronunciation, rhythm, and syllables. Then, we'll read it together line by line. Try to follow along and repeat after me, focusing on clear pronunciation and natural flow. Remember, don't worry if you don't understand every word right away, just enjoy the rhythm and sounds of the language. You can pause the video anytime to practice and rewind if you need to hear something again. Reading aloud is a great way to improve your speaking skills, build confidence, and learn new vocabulary. So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's begin our reading practice together. Passage 1: A Day in the Life of Emma. Emma is a 24-year-old woman who lives in a small apartment in the city. She works as a graphic designer at a marketing company. Every day, Emma wakes up at 6:30 in the morning. The first thing she does is turn off her alarm clock and stretch her arms. Then she gets out of bed, opens the window, and takes a deep breath. The morning air is fresh and cool. After that, Emma walks to the kitchen to prepare her breakfast. She usually eats a bowl of cereal with milk, a banana, and a cup of black coffee. While she eats, she checks the news on her phone or listens to music. Emma enjoys slow mornings, but she knows she has to get ready for work. At 7:15, Emma takes a quick shower, brushes her teeth, and gets dressed. She likes to wear simple but professional clothes, usually jeans, a clean blouse, and comfortable shoes. Before she leaves the house, she packs her laptop, notebook, and a bottle of water into her backpack. By 8 o'clock, she is out the door. Emma walks to the bus stop, which is only 5 minutes from her apartment. She takes the number 12 bus, which goes directly to her office downtown. On the bus, she often reads a book or listens to an English podcast to improve her vocabulary. The ride takes about 25 minutes. At work, Emma greets her co-workers with a smile. She starts her day by checking her email and making a to-do list. Her job involves creating designs for websites, advertisements, and social media posts. She loves being creative and working on different projects every day. Sometimes, she works with clients to understand their needs. Other times, she works alone, focusing on her designs. At 12:30, Emma takes a lunch break. She usually eats with her co-workers in the break room. They talk about movies, food, and weekend plans. Emma often brings lunch from home, like a salad, sandwich, or leftovers from the night before. After lunch, she goes for a short walk outside to get some fresh air. Work to the manager for feedback. She sometimes feels tired, but she drinks water and stretches to stay focused. At 5 p.m., her workday ends. She says goodbye to her team and heads back home. In the evening, Emma likes to relax. When she arrives home, she changes into comfortable clothes and starts cooking dinner. She enjoys trying new recipes. Her favorite is pasta with vegetables and cheese. After dinner, she washes the dishes and sits on the couch to watch a TV series or read a book. Before going to bed, Emma likes to write in her journal. She writes about her day, her feelings, and things she is grateful for. It helps her stay positive. Finally, around 10:30 p.m., she brushes her teeth, sets her alarm, and turns off the lights. As she lies in bed, she feels proud of her day and looks forward to tomorrow. Passage 2: The Mysterious Letter. One sunny afternoon, Anna was sitting at her small wooden desk in her cozy bedroom. The room was full of books, colorful posters, and a small plant by the window. She was studying for her English test when suddenly, the doorbell rang. Surprised, Anna got up and went downstairs to open the front door. On the doorstep, there was a small envelope lying on a brown paper package. The envelope was old and slightly yellowed with age. It had no sender's name or address, only Anna's name written in beautiful, flowing handwriting. Curious and a little excited, Anna picked up the envelope and carefully opened it. Inside, she found a letter. The letter was written in neat, black ink on thick paper. It began with a friendly greeting, "Dear Anna, I hope this letter finds you well." Anna's heart started to beat faster. Who could have sent this letter? She looked around to see if anyone was nearby, but the street was quiet. The letter continued, "I am writing to tell you about a secret place in your town. It is a small garden hidden behind the old library. Many people do not know about it, but it is a magical place. If you visit the garden at sunset, you will see something amazing." Anna was intrigued. She had never heard of a secret garden before. The letter ended with these words, "If you want to discover the secret, follow the map on the back of this letter. But be careful and don't tell anyone. This secret is only for those who are curious and brave. Good luck. A friend." Anna turned the letter over and saw a hand-drawn map. The map showed streets she knew well and a small X mark behind the library. Anna smiled and felt a rush of excitement. She loved adventures and mysteries. Without wasting time, she decided to find the secret garden. After finishing her homework quickly, Anna packed a small bag with a bottle of water, a flashlight, and her phone. She put on comfortable shoes and a light jacket because the evening was cool. At around 6 p.m., she left her house and walked toward the library. The old library was a big, old building made of gray stone. It had large windows with white frames and heavy wooden doors. Anna had been there many times to borrow books, but she never looked behind the building. She followed the map carefully, walking along a narrow path between two fences. Suddenly, she saw a small wooden gate covered with green vines and colorful flowers. The gate was slightly open, as if inviting her in. Anna pushed the gate gently and stepped into the garden. Inside, she saw beautiful flowers, tall trees, and a small pond with clear water. The air smelled fresh and sweet, and she could hear birds singing. Anna walked slowly through the garden, admiring the plants and the peaceful atmosphere. As the sun began to set, the sky turned orange and pink. Suddenly, a soft, glowing light appeared near the pond. Anna gasped in surprise. The light grew brighter and slowly formed into small sparkling shapes, like tiny fairies dancing in the air. She watched in awe as the fairies flew around the garden, their lights flickering like stars. It was a magical and beautiful sight. Anna felt happy and calm, as if she had found a special place that only she could see. She stayed for a while, enjoying the magic and quiet of the garden. Before leaving, Anna took a deep breath and thanked the mysterious friend who sent the letter. She promised to keep the secret safe and visit the garden again soon. When she returned home, she carefully put the letter and map in her desk drawer. She knew that this adventure would be a story she would never forget. Passage 3: Shopping at the Farmer's Market. Every Saturday morning, the town's farmer's market opens early. It is a colorful, lively place full of fresh fruits, vegetables, flowers, and handmade goods. People from all over the town come to shop, meet friends, and enjoy the fresh air. Today, Michael decided to visit the market to buy ingredients for a special dinner he wanted to cook. Michael woke up at 7 a.m., feeling excited. He made a list of the things he needed: tomatoes, onions, fresh herbs, bread, cheese, and some fruit for dessert. After a quick breakfast of toast and orange juice, he put on comfortable shoes and a light jacket. The weather was cool and sunny, perfect for walking around outside. By 8 a.m., Michael was at the market entrance. The market was already busy with people. Stalls lined both sides of the street, covered with colorful umbrellas and cloths. The smell of fresh bread and roasted coffee filled the air. Michael took a deep breath and smiled. He loved the friendly atmosphere of the market. His first stop was the vegetable stall. A friendly woman named Rosa greeted him with a warm smile. "Good morning. What can I help you find today?" she asked. Michael showed her his list and asked for the freshest tomatoes. Rosa picked up a bunch of red, shiny tomatoes and handed them to him. "These are from my farm, picked just yesterday," she said proudly. Next, Michael visited the herb stall. There, a man was selling fresh basil, parsley, and rosemary. Michael chose a small bunch of basil and a few sprigs of rosemary. The herb smelled strong and delicious. The man wrapped them carefully in brown paper. As Michael walked through the market, he stopped to look at the bread stall. The baker had just taken fresh loaves out of the oven. The warm smell of baked bread was irresistible. Michael picked a crusty baguette and a small round loaf of sourdough. The baker told him that the bread was made with organic flour and natural yeast. Nearby, a cheese vendor offered samples of different cheeses. Michael tasted a piece of sharp cheddar and a creamy brie. He decided to buy a small block of cheddar for his dinner. The vendor wrapped the cheese in wax paper and placed it in a small bag. While shopping, Michael met an old friend, Sarah. They chatted for a few minutes about their plans for the weekend and exchanged smiles. Sarah recommended a fruit stall that had the best peaches in town. Michael thanked her and went to check it out. The fruit stall was full of colorful fruits: red apples, yellow bananas, green grapes, and juicy peaches. Michael picked a few ripe peaches, feeling their soft skin. The vendor told him the peaches were picked from a nearby orchard and were very sweet. After finishing his shopping, Michael felt happy with his purchases. He had everything he needed for his dinner. Before leaving the market, he bought a small bouquet of fresh flowers as a gift for his mother. Michael walked home slowly, enjoying the sunshine and the sounds of the market. When he arrived, he unpacked the fresh food and started preparing his meal. The vegetables were crisp, the bread was warm, and the cheese tasted wonderful. Michael felt proud that he had chosen all the ingredients himself. That evening, as Michael ate his delicious dinner, he thought about the farmers' market and the people who worked hard to grow and make the food. He realized that shopping there was not just about buying food, it was about connecting with the community and supporting local farmers. Passage for My First Job Interview. Last summer, Sarah experienced something very important in her life, her first job interview. She had just finished university and was looking for a job in marketing. Sarah was both excited and nervous because she knew that the interview could change her future. Sarah had applied to many companies, but one company, called Bright Solutions, invited her for an interview. The company was well known for helping other businesses grow through advertising and social media. Sarah was happy and decided to prepare carefully for the interview. For a whole week, Sarah read about the company, practiced common interview questions, and chose her outfit. She wanted to look professional and confident. On the day before the interview, Sarah felt a little tired but also ready. She went to bed early to get a good night's sleep. The morning of the interview, Sarah woke up at 6 a.m. She took a shower, had a healthy breakfast of eggs, toast, and orange juice, and got dressed in a dark blue suit. She looked at herself in the mirror several times, fixing her hair and making sure everything was perfect. Sarah arrived at the company's office 15 minutes early. The building was tall and modern, with large glass windows and a friendly receptionist at the front desk. Sarah gave her name and waited in a comfortable waiting area. She looked around and saw other candidates, some reading papers, some checking their phones. After about 20 minutes, a woman named Ms. Lopez came to call Sarah. She smiled warmly and introduced herself as the Human Resources Manager. They walked together to a small meeting room. The room was bright and quiet, with a large table and 2 chairs. Ms. Lopez started by asking Sarah to talk about herself. Sarah took a deep breath and explained her education, interests, and why she wanted to work in marketing. She tried to speak clearly and confidently. Then, Ms. Lopez asked specific questions about Sarah's skills, such as how she worked in teams and handled difficult situations. One of the questions was about a time Sarah had a problem and how she solved it. Sarah remembered a group project at university where her team had a disagreement. She explained how she listened to everyone's opinions and helped the team find a solution by communicating openly. Ms. Lopez also asked Sarah about her strengths and weaknesses. Sarah said her strength was being organized and able to manage time well. For her weakness, she honestly said that sometimes she felt nervous speaking in front of large groups but was working to improve this by practicing public speaking. After the questions, Ms. Lopez told Sarah about the job responsibilities and the company's values. Sarah listened carefully and asked questions about the team she would work with and the company culture. She wanted to show interest and learn as much as possible. The interview lasted about 45 minutes. Before leaving, Sarah thanked Ms. Lopez for the opportunity and said she was excited to hear from them soon. She walked out of the building feeling proud of herself, no matter the outcome. A few days later, Sarah received a phone call from Bright Solutions. They offered her the job. Sarah was overjoyed and accepted immediately. She knew that her preparation and honesty had helped her succeed. Starting the job was a new adventure. Sarah learned many things about marketing, teamwork, and responsibility. She also made new friends and grew more confident. Looking back, Sarah realized that her first job interview taught her important lessons about being prepared, positive, and true to herself. Passage 5: The Lost Dog in the Park. It was a bright Saturday morning when James decided to take a walk in the city park. The park was a beautiful place with tall trees, green grass, colorful flowers, and a small lake where ducks swam happily. James often came here to relax, read books, and enjoy nature. As he walked along the paved path, James noticed something unusual. Near a group of benches, a small dog was sitting alone. The dog looked tired and scared. It was a light brown color with floppy ears and big, sad eyes. James stopped and looked around, but no one seemed to be with the dog. James carefully approached the dog and knelt down. "Hey, little guy," he said softly. The dog wagged its tail slowly but did not move away. James checked the dog's collar and saw a tag with a phone number and the name Buddy. James took out his phone and called the number on the tag. After a few rings, a woman answered. "Hello," she said. James explained that he had found Buddy in the park and described where he was. The woman sounded worried and said her name was Mrs. Green. She explained that Buddy had run away from their house the day before and they had been looking everywhere for him. Mrs. Green thanked James and said she would come to the park right away. While waiting, James gave Buddy some water from his bottle. The dog drank eagerly and seemed to feel safer. James looked around and saw other people in the park walking their dogs, jogging, or sitting on benches. Some children were playing with a ball nearby. After about 15 minutes, a woman and a young girl arrived, looking worried but hopeful. Mrs. Green called out, "Buddy! Here, boy!" Buddy jumped up and ran happily toward them. The little girl laughed with joy and hugged Buddy tightly. Mrs. Green thanked James many times. She explained that Buddy was a very important part of their family and they were very worried when he disappeared. James smiled and said he was glad to help. Before leaving, Mrs. Green invited James to visit them sometime to meet Buddy again. James agreed happily. He felt good knowing he helped reunite a lost dog with his family. As James continued his walk, he thought about how important pets are in our lives. They give us love, comfort, and friendship. He hoped Buddy would stay safe and never get lost again. The park returned to its peaceful calm, but James knew he would always remember this special day, the day he found a lost dog and helped bring him home. Passage 6: How to stay healthy. Staying healthy is very important for everyone. It means feeling good in your body and mind, having energy, and avoiding sickness. There are many simple things people can do every day to stay healthy and live a happy life. First, eating healthy food is one of the best ways to take care of your body. Healthy food includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and proteins like fish, chicken, beans, and nuts. These foods give your body vitamins, minerals, and energy. It is important to avoid eating too much sugar, fast food, and foods that have a lot of fat or salt because they can cause problems like weight gain and heart disease. Second, drinking enough water is very important. Water helps your body work well. It keeps your skin soft, your mind clear, and helps you digest food. Most people need to drink about 8 glasses of water every day, but this can change depending on your activity and the weather. Third, exercise is very helpful for your health. Exercise means moving your body in a way that makes your heart beat faster and your muscles stronger. Walking, running, swimming, dancing, or playing sports are good exercises. Doing exercise for at least 30 minutes a day can improve your mood, help you sleep better, and keep your body strong. Fourth, getting enough sleep is also very important. Sleep helps your body rest and repair itself. Adults usually need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every night. When you don't sleep enough, you may feel tired, have trouble focusing, and get sick more easily. To have good sleep, try to go to bed at the same time every night and avoid using phones or computers before sleeping. Fifth, managing stress is important for mental health. Everyone feels stress sometimes, but too much stress can harm your body and mind. You can reduce stress by doing activities you enjoy, such as reading, listening to music, or spending time with friends and family. Meditation and deep breathing exercises can also help calm your mind. Sixth, it is important to avoid bad habits like smoking, drinking too much alcohol, or using drugs. These habits can cause serious health problems and reduce your life quality. Finally, visiting a doctor regularly for checkups helps you find health problems early. Doctors can give advice and treatments to keep you healthy. In summary, staying healthy is about taking care of your body and mind every day. Eating good food, drinking water, exercising, sleeping well, managing stress, and avoiding bad habits all work together to help you live a long and happy life. Passage 7. A trip to the mountains. Last summer, my family and I went on a trip to the mountains. We had planned the trip for weeks because we all love nature and wanted to spend time away from the busy city. The mountains were about 3 hours by car from our home, so we woke up early to start our journey. The morning was cool and sunny as we packed our bags and loaded the car. We brought hiking boots, warm clothes, food, water, and a camera to take pictures. The road to the mountains was full of beautiful views, green trees, rivers, and small villages. As we drove, we listened to music and talked about our plans for the trip. When we arrived, the air was fresh and clean. The temperature was cooler than the city, and we could hear birds singing in the trees. Our first stop was a small cabin where we stayed for 2 nights. The cabin was made of wood and had a fireplace, a kitchen, and big windows that looked out at the mountains. After settling in, we decided to go for a hike. We followed a trail that led through tall pine trees, over small streams, and up gentle hills. Along the way, we saw wildflowers in many colors: yellow, purple, and white. We also spotted some animals like squirrels and colorful birds. The hike was not easy, but it was very rewarding. At the top of the hill, we found a large rock with an amazing view. We could see the entire valley below, with rivers winding through green fields and forests. The sky was clear and blue, and the sun was warm on our faces. We took many photos and rested before starting our walk back. On the way down, we stopped near a waterfall. The water was cold and clear, and it made a beautiful sound as it fell over the rocks. We sat on the rocks and ate some sandwiches while listening to the water. That evening, we made a fire in the fireplace and cooked dinner together. We roasted marshmallows and told stories. The stars were very bright at night because there was no city light to cover them. We even saw a shooting star, and everyone made a wish. The next day, we explored more of the mountains. We visited a small village nearby and met some friendly local people. They showed us their crafts and traditional food. We bought some handmade souvenirs to remember our trip. Before leaving, we took one last walk along a river and enjoyed the peaceful sounds of nature. The trip to the mountains was a wonderful experience that brought us closer to each other and helped us relax. On the way home, we talked about our favorite moments and promised to visit the mountains again soon. Passage 8. The Rainy Day Surprise. It was a cool, cloudy morning when Lily woke up and looked out of her bedroom window. Dark grey clouds covered the sky, and she could hear the soft sound of rain falling on the roof. She sighed, feeling a little disappointed because she had planned to meet her friends at the park that day. Instead, it seemed like she would have to stay indoors. After getting dressed in warm clothes and a raincoat, Lily went downstairs to the kitchen where her mother was making breakfast. The smell of fresh pancakes filled the air. Lily's mother smiled and said, "It looks like it will rain all day, but maybe we can find a way to make the day special." Lily nodded, and after breakfast, she put on her rain boots and grabbed an umbrella. Even though it was raining, she decided to go outside for a short walk near her house. The streets were wet and shiny, and puddles formed everywhere. She jumped over a few puddles and watched raindrops create ripples in the water. As she walked, Lily noticed something unusual near the old oak tree at the end of the street. There was a small box, covered with wet leaves and twigs. Curious, Lily picked up the box and opened it carefully. Inside, she found a collection of colorful stones, a small note, and a tiny toy car. The note said, "For the lucky finder, a gift to brighten your rainy day. Pass it on. Lily smiled widely. She felt like she had discovered a secret treasure. She decided to keep the stones and the toy car and write her own note to add to the box. Lily went back home and told her mother about the surprise. Together, they cleaned the stones and made a small bag to keep them safe. Lily then wrote a new note with kind words and put a little drawing inside. She planned to hide the box in a different place tomorrow for someone else to find. The rest of the rainy day was full of fun. Lily and her mother baked cookies, played board games, and watched a movie. The rain continued outside, but inside the house, they felt warm and happy. In the evening, the rain stopped, and the sky began to clear. A beautiful rainbow appeared, stretching across the horizon. Lily looked at the rainbow and thought about the little box and the joy of unexpected surprises. Before going to bed, she placed the stones and the note inside her backpack, ready for a new adventure the next day. Passage 9. Making friends in a new city. When Ahmed moved to a new city, he felt both excited and nervous. It was a big change. He had lived all his life in a small town where he knew everyone. Now, he was starting university in a large city far from home. Everything seemed new, the streets, the people, and even the weather. On his first day, Ahmed arrived early at the university campus. The buildings were tall and modern, and many students were walking quickly between classes. Ahmed felt a little lost among the crowd. He looked for a quiet place to sit and read his schedule. During his first class, Ahmed tried to listen carefully and take notes. The professor spoke fast, but Ahmed understood most of the important points. After class, he saw other students talking and laughing in small groups. Ahmed wanted to join them but was too shy. That afternoon, Ahmed went to the university cafeteria to get some food. The cafeteria was large and noisy, filled with students from different countries and backgrounds. He found a table with an empty seat next to two students chatting about their classes. Ahmed asked politely if he could sit with them. The student smiled and welcomed him. Their names were Maria and John. They talked about the classes, the city, and the best places to visit. Ahmed felt happy to have made new friends so quickly. Maria invited Ahmed to join a study group that met every week. Over the next few weeks, Ahmed joined the study group and met more students. They helped him learn about the city and gave advice about living alone. Ahmed also joined a football club on campus. Playing sports was a great way to relax and make friends. Ahmed missed his family sometimes, but he called them every day. They encouraged him and were proud of his new life. Ahmed also invited his new friends to visit his hometown during holidays. Making friends in a new city was not always easy. Sometimes, Ahmed felt lonely or unsure. But he learned to be patient and open to new experiences. He found that kindness, smiling, and asking questions helped him connect with others. By the end of the semester, Ahmed had many friends, and the city no longer felt strange. He was proud of himself for trying new things and making the best of his new home. Ahmed looked forward to more adventures, learning, and growing with his new friends by his side. Passage 10. Learning to cook with Grandma. Every Sunday afternoon, Sarah visits her grandmother's house. Sarah loves these visits because her grandmother is an excellent cook, and she enjoys learning new recipes. Today, Sarah was especially excited because her grandmother promised to teach her how to make homemade bread. When Sarah arrived, the kitchen smelled warm and inviting. The walls were decorated with old family photos, and the wooden table was covered with a colorful tablecloth. Grandma wore her favorite apron and smiled warmly when she saw Sarah. "Welcome, dear. Are you ready to bake some bread?" Grandma asked. Sarah nodded eagerly and washed her hands. Grandma explained the ingredients they would need: flour, yeast, water, salt, and a little sugar. First, Grandma showed Sarah how to measure the flour carefully and put it in a large bowl. Then, they added yeast and sugar to warm water and waited a few minutes for the yeast to become active. Sarah watched as tiny bubbles appeared on the surface. Next, they mixed the yeast water with the flour and salt. Grandma helped Sarah knead the dough, pressing and folding it with her hands. Sarah's hands felt sticky, but she enjoyed the soft texture of the dough. Grandma said kneading was important because it made the bread light and fluffy. After kneading, they covered the dough with a clean cloth and left it to rise in a warm place. While waiting, Grandma told Sarah stories about when she was young and how her mother taught her to cook. Sarah listened carefully, feeling connected to her family's traditions. Once the dough had risen and doubled in size, Grandma showed Sarah how to shape it into a round loaf. They placed the dough on a baking tray and put it into the oven. The smell of baking bread soon filled the kitchen, making Sarah's mouth water. While waiting for the bread to bake, they prepared a simple salad with fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, and herbs from the garden. Grandma also made a small pot of tea for them to enjoy. When the bread was ready, Grandma carefully took it out of the oven. The crust was golden brown and crispy. They let it cool before cutting a slice. Sarah tasted the bread and smiled. It was delicious, soft on the inside and crunchy on the outside. Sarah thanked her grandmother for the lesson and promised to try baking bread at home. She felt proud of what she had learned and happy to share this special time with her grandmother. Every Sunday after that, Sarah practiced baking and cooking with Grandma. Cooking together became more than just making food. It was about love, memories, and family. Passage 11, The Dream That Changed Everything. When Daniel was a child, he had a special dream. Every night before going to sleep, he imagined becoming a pilot. He loved airplanes and often watched videos about flying. The dream made him feel excited and hopeful about the future. Daniel grew up in a small town near the airport. Sometimes, he would go with his parents to watch airplanes take off and land. He loved the sound of the engines and the sight of planes flying high in the sky. From a young age, he knew he wanted to work in aviation. In school, Daniel worked hard. He studied science and math because he knew these subjects were important for becoming a pilot. Sometimes, his friends teased him for dreaming big, but Daniel did not listen. He believed that with hard work and determination, anything was possible. After finishing high school, Daniel applied to an aviation academy. The application process was difficult. There were many tests about physics, math, and English. Daniel studied day and night to prepare. When he finally received an acceptance letter, he felt proud and excited. At the academy, Daniel learned about airplane mechanics, navigation, and weather. He spent many hours in the classroom and simulator, practicing how to fly. Flying a real plane was challenging, but Daniel was determined to succeed. He listened carefully to his instructors and asked many questions. One day, during a training flight, Daniel faced a difficult situation. The weather changed suddenly, and strong winds made flying harder. Daniel stayed calm and used all his training to control the plane safely. After landing, his instructor praised him for his quick thinking and courage. Graduation day was a special moment. Daniel received his pilot's license and wore a uniform. He was ready to start his career. Soon, he got a job with a small airline and began flying passengers to different cities. Daniel's dream had changed his life. He traveled to new places, met many people, and felt proud of his work. He also remembered the importance of never giving up on your dreams, no matter how big they seem. Today, Daniel tells young students to believe in themselves and to work hard. He knows that dreams can become real with patience, learning, and courage. Passage 12, a visit to the dentist. Last week, Maria had to visit the dentist for a regular checkup. Although she knew it was important to take care of her teeth, she felt a little nervous because she did not like the sound of the dental tools. Maria arrived at the dental clinic early in the morning. The clinic was bright and clean, with comfortable chairs and friendly staff. The receptionist greeted her with a warm smile and asked her to fill out some forms about her health and dental history. After a few minutes, Maria was called into the examination room. The dentist, Dr. Ali, introduced himself kindly and explained the steps of the checkup. Maria felt more comfortable knowing what to expect. First, Dr. Ali looked at Maria's teeth using a small mirror and a light. He checked for cavities, gum health, and signs of tooth decay. Maria opened her mouth wide and tried to stay still. The dentist gently cleaned her teeth using special tools that removed plaque and tartar. Next, Dr. Ali took some X-rays to see the areas between the teeth and under the gums. Maria had to wear a lead apron to protect her body from the small amount of radiation. She stayed calm and followed the dentist's instructions. After the X-rays, Dr. Ali talked to Maria about how to keep her teeth healthy. He told her to brush twice a day with fluoride toothpaste, floss daily, and avoid too much sugary food and drinks. He also recommended visiting the dentist every 6 months. Maria asked a few questions about whitening her teeth and how to reduce sensitivity. Dr. Ali answered patiently and gave her tips on choosing the right toothpaste. Before leaving, Maria received a clean dental kit with a new toothbrush, toothpaste sample, and floss. She thanked Dr. Ali and promised to take better care of her teeth. On her way home, Maria felt proud for facing her fear of the dentist. She realized that regular visits help prevent problems and keep a bright, healthy smile. Passage 13, the weekend adventure. Last Saturday, Tom and his friends planned an exciting weekend adventure. They wanted to explore the nearby forest and spend the night camping. Tom had never been camping before, so he was both excited and a little nervous. Early in the morning, they met at Tom's house. Everyone brought something important: tents, sleeping bags, food, water, and flashlights. Tom packed a backpack with clothes, a map, and some snacks. The weather was clear and sunny, perfect for their trip. They drove together to the forest, which was about an hour away from the city. When they arrived, they stopped near a small river to stretch and check the map. The forest was full of tall trees, birds singing, and the smell of fresh earth. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating beautiful patterns on the ground. Tom's friend Lisa showed them how to set up tents. They worked as a team, hammering stakes into the ground and securing the tent poles. It was harder than Tom expected, but he enjoyed learning new skills. After setting up camp, they went for a hike along a trail that led to a hilltop. The path was narrow and sometimes slippery, but they helped each other. Along the way, they saw wildflowers, mushrooms, and even a deer in the distance. Tom took many photos to remember the trip. At the top of the hill, the group stopped to rest. They drank water and ate sandwiches while enjoying the stunning view. They could see the whole forest stretching for miles and the city far away in the distance. The fresh air made Tom feel happy and relaxed. Back at the campsite, Tom and his friends collected wood for a campfire. They carefully built the fire and soon had warm flames. They cooked hot dogs and roasted marshmallows, sharing stories and laughter. As the sun set, the sky turned orange and purple, and stars began to appear. During the night, Tom listened to the sounds of the forest. Crickets chirping, leaves rustling, and owls hooting. Although it was dark and quiet, Tom felt safe with his friends nearby. He fell asleep feeling proud of his first camping experience. The next morning, they woke up early to watch the sunrise. The sky was painted with pink and gold colors. After breakfast, they packed their things and cleaned the campsite, leaving no trash behind to protect nature. On the way home, Tom felt grateful for the adventure. He learned many new things, enjoyed nature, and strengthened his friendship with the group. He knew this would be the first of many weekend adventures to come. Passage 14, The Secret Garden Behind the Wall. One warm spring afternoon, Emily was exploring her grandmother's old house. The house was large, with many rooms filled with antiques and memories. Emily loved visiting because every time she came, she found something new and interesting. As she walked through the garden at the back of the house, Emily noticed an old, tall stone wall covered with ivy. She had never paid much attention to the wall before. Today, curiosity made her walk closer. Near the corner of the wall, hidden behind thick bushes, she saw a small wooden door. Emily gently pushed the door, and to her surprise, it opened with a soft creak. She stepped inside and found herself in a secret garden. The garden was unlike any she had ever seen. It was full of colorful flowers, roses, tulips, daisies, and lilies. The air smelled sweet with the scent of blossoms. The garden had winding stone paths covered with moss. In the middle, there was a small pond with water lilies and frogs croaking softly. Butterflies flew from flower to flower, and birds sang cheerful songs from the trees. Emily felt as if she had entered a magical place. She walked slowly, touching the petals of flowers and listening to the peaceful sounds. On a wooden bench, she found a small notebook tied with a ribbon. Opening it, Emily discovered that it was a garden diary, written by her grandmother many years ago. The diary described the garden's history and how it was planted by Emily's great-grandmother. It talked about the special plants that grew there and how the garden was a place for healing and happiness. Emily felt connected to her family and the garden's magic. Emily spent hours in the secret garden, reading the diary and exploring every corner. She promised herself to take care of the garden and keep its secrets safe. From that day on, the garden became her favorite place to think, relax, and dream. Whenever Emily felt sad or tired, she visited the garden and found comfort in its beauty. The secret garden behind the wall was more than just a garden, it was a place of love, memories, and hope. Passage 15, Saving Money for a New Phone. Jason had been dreaming about buying a new phone for many months. His old phone was slow, the battery didn't last long, and the camera was not very good. He wanted a phone with a big screen, fast performance, and a great camera to take pictures of his adventures. However, the new phone was expensive. Jason knew he couldn't ask his parents for money because they had other expenses. So, he decided to save money by himself. He made a plan to reach his goal in 6 months. First, Jason looked at his monthly expenses. He realized he spent a lot of money on small things like snacks, drinks, and video games. He decided to reduce these expenses. Instead of buying snacks every day, he would prepare food at home. He also limited his time playing video games to focus on other activities. Next, Jason looked for ways to earn extra money. He asked his neighbors if they needed help with chores like mowing the lawn, cleaning, or walking their dogs. Many people agreed, and Jason started working on weekends and after school. He also sold some old books and toys he no longer used. Jason kept a notebook to write down every amount of money he earned and spent. This helped him track his progress and stay motivated. Sometimes, it was difficult because he wanted to buy new clothes or go out with friends, but he reminded himself of his goal. After 3 months, Jason had saved half of the money needed for the phone. He felt proud and encouraged to continue. His parents noticed his effort and praised him for being responsible and patient. Finally, after 6 months, Jason had enough money. He went to the store with his parents to buy the new phone. When he held the phone in his hands, he felt a great sense of achievement. He knew that saving money was not easy, but it was worth it. Jason promised himself to continue managing his money wisely and to save for other important things in the future. His experience taught him valuable lessons about patience, hard work, and responsibility. Passage 16, Volunteering at the Animal Shelter. Last year, Mia decided to start volunteering at the local animal shelter. She loved animals and wanted to help care for dogs, cats, and other pets who needed homes. Mia knew that volunteering would be a great way to give back to the community and learn new skills. On her first day, Mia arrived at the shelter early in the morning. The shelter was a large building with many rooms, outdoor areas, and kennels for the animals. The staff welcomed Mia and introduced her to the daily routine. Mia's tasks included feeding the animals, cleaning their living spaces, and giving them exercise. She also helped with grooming, like brushing fur and trimming nails. Mia quickly learned how important it was to be gentle and patient with the animals, many of whom had been scared or sick before arriving. One of Mia's favorite animals was a small dog named Max. Max was shy at first, but after a few weeks of care and attention, he became more playful and friendly. Mia enjoyed walking Max in the shelter's yard and teaching him simple commands. In addition to animal care, Mia helped with adoption events. She talked to visitors, answered questions about the animals, and shared stories about their personalities. Mia felt happy when she saw animals find loving families. Volunteering was sometimes hard work. Mia had to wake up early and spend long hours at the shelter. Some days were emotional, especially when animals were sick or sad. But Mia felt proud to make a difference in their lives. Through volunteering, Mia met many people who shared her love for animals. She learned about animal health, behavior, and the responsibilities of pet ownership. The experience also taught her about teamwork, communication, and kindness. After several months, Mia knew that volunteering at the animal shelter was one of the best decisions she had made. She planned to continue helping animals and hoped to inspire others to do the same. Passage 17, The Art of Learning a New Language. Learning a new language is a journey filled with challenges, excitement, and great rewards. Many people around the world decide to learn a second or even third language to improve their communication skills, explore new cultures, or enhance their career opportunities. But how does one start this journey, and what are the best ways to succeed? First, it is important to understand why you want to learn the language. Having a clear goal, whether it is to travel, work, or study, helps keep motivation strong. For example, someone who wants to work in an international company may focus on business vocabulary, while a traveler might prioritize everyday conversation. Second, learning a new language requires regular practice. Just like playing a musical instrument or learning to ride a bike, language skills improve through repetition and use. Experts recommend spending at least 30 minutes every day on activities like reading, listening, speaking, and writing in the new language. One effective method is immersing yourself in the language as much as possible. This can include listening to music, watching movies or TV shows, and reading books or articles in the target language. Immersion helps learners get used to the sounds, rhythms, and expressions naturally. Speaking is often the hardest part for learners. Many people feel nervous about making mistakes or not being understood. However, making mistakes is a normal and essential part of learning. The more you practice speaking with native speakers or language partners, the more confident and fluent you will become. Another helpful strategy is to learn vocabulary in context. Instead of memorizing long lists of words, try to learn phrases and sentences that you can use in real-life situations. This approach helps with understanding grammar and improving pronunciation. Writing regularly in the new language also strengthens your skills. You can keep a journal, write emails, or participate in language forums online. Writing helps you organize your thoughts and apply new vocabulary and grammar rules. Technology has made language learning easier than ever. There are many apps, websites, and online courses that offer lessons, quizzes, and interactive activities. Some platforms even connect learners with native speakers for conversation practice. It is important to be patient and kind to yourself during the learning process. Progress may be slow at times, and it is normal to forget words or feel frustrated. Setting small, achievable goals and celebrating successes keeps motivation high. Finally, learning a new language opens doors to new cultures, friendships, and experiences. It helps you understand different ways of thinking and living, and it can change how you see the world. In conclusion, the art of learning a new language is a combination of motivation, practice, immersion, and patience. Anyone can succeed with the right attitude and tools. Passage 18: A Day in the Life of a Teacher. Becoming a teacher is a rewarding and challenging career. Teachers play a vital role in shaping the minds and futures of their students. To understand this better, let's explore a typical day in the life of Mrs. Carter, a high school English teacher. Mrs. Carter wakes up early every weekday morning at 5:30 a.m. After a quick breakfast and a cup of coffee, she reviews her lesson plans for the day. Planning is an important part of her job because she wants to make sure her students learn effectively and stay engaged. By 7:30 a.m., Mrs. Carter arrives at school. The building is quiet at first, but soon students start arriving, chatting with friends and preparing for their classes. Mrs. Carter greets her colleagues and checks her email for any important messages. The first class begins at 8 a.m. Mrs. Carter teaches a group of 10th grade students who are reading a classic novel. She starts the lesson by asking questions about the previous chapter to review what the students learned. Then, she explains new vocabulary and discusses the themes of the story. Throughout the class, Mrs. Carter encourages students to participate by asking questions and sharing their opinions. She believes that an interactive classroom helps students think critically and improves their communication skills. After the first class, Mrs. Carter has a short break to prepare materials for the next lesson. She uses this time to grade assignments, reply to emails from parents, and organize activities. The school day includes several classes, each with different groups of students. Mrs. Carter adapts her teaching style to meet the needs of diverse learners. Some students need extra help with reading, while others enjoy creative writing exercises. During lunchtime, Mrs. Carter eats in the teacher's lounge and chats with her colleagues about teaching strategies and school events. She also takes a few minutes to relax and recharge. In the afternoon, Mrs. Carter meets with a student who is struggling with writing essays. She provides guidance and encouragement, helping the student develop confidence and skills. After the last class, Mrs. Carter attends a staff meeting where teachers discuss curriculum updates and upcoming projects. Collaboration with other teachers helps improve the school's programs and student success. Mrs. Carter usually leaves school around 4:30 p.m. At home, she spends time with her family, prepares dinner, and reviews her plans for the next day. Teaching requires dedication and hard work, but Mrs. Carter finds great joy in helping her students grow. In conclusion, a teacher's day is busy and varied, filled with teaching, planning, supporting students, and continuous learning. Teachers like Mrs. Carter make a lasting impact by inspiring and educating future generations. Passage 19. The importance of reading books. Reading books is one of the most valuable habits a person can develop. Books open doors to new knowledge, imagination, and understanding of the world. For people learning English, reading is especially important because it improves vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension skills. From a young age, reading helps children develop language skills. When children listen to stories or read books, they learn new words, sentence structures, and how to express ideas clearly. Reading also sparks creativity and curiosity by introducing new topics and different cultures. For adults, reading remains a powerful tool for learning and personal growth. Books can teach about history, science, philosophy, and many other subjects. They also provide entertainment, relaxation, and inspiration. Many successful people credit reading as a key part of their development. Reading regularly improves concentration and focus. Unlike watching television or browsing the internet, reading requires active engagement. Readers imagine scenes, understand characters' feelings, and follow complex ideas. This mental exercise strengthens the brain and improves critical thinking. In addition, reading books in English helps learners improve their language skills naturally. By seeing correct spelling, punctuation, and grammar in context, learners understand how the language works. They also learn common expressions, idioms, and cultural references. To make the most of reading, it is important to choose books that match your level and interests. Beginners may start with simple stories or children's books. As skills improve, readers can move on to novels, biographies, or technical texts. Reading aloud and discussing books with others also enhances learning. Libraries and bookstores offer a wide variety of books for all tastes and levels. Nowadays, digital books and audiobooks provide even more options for learners. Listening to audiobooks while following the text can improve pronunciation and listening skills. In conclusion, reading books is a key habit for lifelong learning. It enriches the mind, improves language, and connects people to the world. Whether for study or pleasure, reading is a valuable part of life that everyone should enjoy. Passage 20. The power of positive thinking. Positive thinking is a powerful tool that can change the way people live their lives. It means focusing on the good in every situation, believing in your abilities, and expecting positive outcomes. Many successful people use positive thinking to overcome challenges and achieve their goals. The idea of positive thinking is based on the connection between thoughts, feelings, and actions. When people think positively, they feel happier and more confident. This energy helps them take actions that lead to success. On the other hand, negative thinking can cause stress, fear, and failure. One important step in practicing positive thinking is to become aware of your thoughts. Sometimes, people automatically think negatively without realizing it. By noticing these thoughts, you can choose to change them into more positive and encouraging ideas. Another helpful technique is using positive affirmations. These are short, positive statements you repeat to yourself, such as "I am capable," "I can handle challenges," or "every day, I am getting better." Affirmations help build self-confidence and focus the mind on what you want to achieve. It is also important to surround yourself with positive people. Friends and family who support and encourage you can make a big difference in your mindset. Sharing your goals with others can create motivation and accountability. When faced with difficulties, positive thinking helps people stay calm and find solutions. Instead of giving up, they look for opportunities to learn and grow. This attitude builds resilience and reduces stress. Positive thinking is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It is about accepting reality and choosing to focus on what can be improved. This mindset leads to better health, stronger relationships, and greater happiness. Many studies show that people with positive attitudes live longer and have better physical and mental health. They handle challenges more effectively and enjoy more success in work and personal life. In daily life, practicing gratitude is a way to strengthen positive thinking. Taking time to appreciate what you have, the people around you, and the good moments increases happiness and satisfaction. In conclusion, the power of positive thinking lies in changing your thoughts to improve your feelings and actions. By practicing positivity, anyone can create a better, happier life filled with hope, strength, and success.